Hey, this is Wendy. Welcome back to my channel. Today it's going to be more of a podcast type of thing. So get yourself an iced coffee, get yourself some tea, and just listen to what I have to waffle about. So I'm going to start right with the first person. And I've met him in Rio, so he was actually my first contact in South America that I've connected with. That in itself made him quite memorable to me already. And then adding to that, it was just his life story because he already tried so much. He started his catering business, he went to university, he tried photography and videography and those kind of things, and those kind of creative areas. And I think the best heading for that person would be stay creative and value each of your ideas. In this lesson, this person really impacted my life because I adapted so much from meeting this person into my personal own life. That helped me so much develop and grow. But to break it down for you, the staying creative part, that doesn't just apply to artistic kind of people, that also applies to the everyday person. You need to be creative for your self-growth. You need to be creative in your everyday life to manage different tasks that get thrown to you during each day. So it's very important to continuously nurture your creative side because that can really help you develop and become a better person that you are already, And the most important thing for me was the value each of your ideas, because no matter how small the idea is, no matter how seemingly insignificant the idea is to you in this point in your life, it can benefit you later on in life and you don't know that yet. It might be insignificant now, but it can be so valuable later on in your life and you don't know. So to give you a couple of practical tips on that is just write everything down. Write everything down, either if it's in a journal or if it's just in the notes app on your phone, because that's me. I write everything down in the notes app if I have an idea that pops up, because writing down helps you acknowledge the the worth and the value of your idea that you had in that moment. And it also ensures that the idea won't be forgotten. You could have written something down in 2020 and then looked at it right now in 2024 and be like, oh my god, this idea fits so well into my current situation right now, so I'm just gonna take it by the root. I'm just gonna take it by the root and do something with it now, because now it fits into my life. So don't waste any ideas, don't let ideas be forgotten, don't throw your own ideas away, write them down. The second thing will be revisiting your ideas. Write something down, but then don't let it sit for a couple of years. Go back to it from time to time. Maybe there are different kinds of tools now that you can use to your benefit to pursue that idea maybe a week later, so it doesn't have to be so far away. And the same thing actually happened kind of with my friend, because as I've mentioned, he started his catering business and it wasn't for him. He didn't like it a lot after some time, even though he enjoyed cooking so much, so he left that. And then when we were at the house in Rio, one time we were all hanging out. He was on the move for fried chicken, and I thought we were gonna go out and get some. But he was like, oh no, I know how to fry, I know how to make it nice. And then we just bought chicken flour and those kind of things. And he just prepared everything, bought a lot of oil, then just fried it up, and it was so amazing. This wasn't just fried chicken. I don't know what to tell you, but he's from New Orleans, and they just have this flavor. No, New Orleans people, they can cook. Let me tell you, they can cook. And in the house there was a host and then also the guy that did maintenance, and the two of them went to the beach from time to time to just sell crepes, because it's super easy to just build up a stand in Rio and at Ipanema and then just sell your stuff. You don't need a lot of special permits and those kind of things. And we were all dude, you gotta try that. We're gonna be the first customers. You gotta try that. And he was so inspired by that as well, seeing the two of them sell their crepes, and he was just yeah, I might try that. Actually, the tools were there, the inspiration was there again. He was looking at this with a fresh eye. His initial idea was catering, but it didn't match his life and the things he wanted back then. The thing came from the same rooted idea, and he wanted to pursue that, but the time was too short. The visa ran out, he couldn't do it in the end. But writing your ideas down can be so valuable, because that idea can come back to you. Keep this idea kind of alive in your notes, in your papers, in your college, whatever. Then you can work on that still even after the time where you actually did that was like past. And who knows what the future will bring. Maybe there's gonna be an opportunity like this again, and then he could actually restart it and then take off where he left it. And then the thing that matches perfectly to that is just have patience with your creativity, because immediate ideas don't always lead to immediate outcomes, like almost never lead to immediate outcomes. It's good to work on a project, it's good to be passionate about something, but you need to be like realistic that this idea will most likely not be a finished product, a finished goal in like a week's time. For example, this project of me starting YouTube was an idea that my dad had initially. He told me that when I was in 12th class, like, yeah, 2 years ago. And he told me that, and I was like, at that time, I was just like full with A-level preparations, like school, learning, exams. I was so full of it. I couldn't concentrate on anything else. And then he was just like, oh yeah, why don't you like start YouTube? You can talk about things, you can just throw your opinions out there, you can invite people, have them sit here, have conversations about important stuff, that like things we're talking about. You can take that to YouTube and then share it kind of with like the world, the community and all that. And I was like, oh yeah, that's like an amazing idea, but like I just cannot right now. I can't. I was like, why would I? Like now I can't, you know? I didn't have the headspace, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the tools. I was like, no, like yeah, but no. If I would have written that down, I think I would have started sooner. I'm gonna get to the person that had reawakened this idea of starting YouTube and all those things. I'm gonna get to that person later. But this person had told me that I should start YouTube as well, but that was like a month ago. So it was fresh. I had like more time. I had the tools. I had the headspace. I like literally could have sat down and started it like right this second. And this was an idea that was already there, but I hadn't written it down, so it got kind of lost. It was really like the most amazing thing that this person came into my life in a time where I am so ready to start something to push me in that direction. I'm so sorry for my dad because he had told me this 2 years ago, but I just wasn't receptive enough for that at that time. But as I said, write your ideas down because you never know what will happen. You never know when the right timing will be for an idea that you had like 3 years ago. So this lesson that I got from my friend, that I got from Juice, has been so beneficial to me, and it can also be like really beneficial to you. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to write your ideas down, to stay creative, to not write things off easily, and to be patient about the process, to be patient about your ideas. So now to my second lesson. And I've also met her in Rio, and she really inspired me, and I think I can just like head this idea with the title, Follow Your Dreams and Don't Let Money Define or Scare You. And this is quite an important one. All the lessons I got from them are important ones, but still. The thing about her is she had quite a similar like coming off to travel. Like she had quite a similar path to start traveling like me. And I think that's what impacted me like the most to her and to her story and to her like way to see the world and see those kind of things. She had a past in gastronomy, like she worked a lot when she was back in Ireland, and then she actually started modeling like me, and that's why we kind of bonded over that fact as well. And she started modeling and working, and she saved that money up because like me, she didn't spend her money on random things. She already had this like vision to go travel as well. And I think that's why her story resonated with me so much, because I saw a lot of my own life and story kind of in her kind of life and story. Those like our two lives kind of paralleled, so I think that's why we could talk about so much with each other so easily. And I just want to say in regards to her to follow your dreams regardless of financial constraints and doubts, because she also had to work so hard to be where she's at right now. And now she's gonna start acting school, and that took a lot as well, and those kind of things are also so expensive. But if you really want something, I advise you to like just hold on to that and make sure you do everything to be able to achieve that goal at some point. And You just need to be patient with the process as well here. But if you work hard and you have like a certain goal, I like most definitely will achieve it at some point. And after the second part that says don't let money define you, it seems so easy when you say it like that, but it really is like so important to not let money define you or scare you, because money is indeed like a necessary tool that you need to have, but besides that, it shouldn't be the primary like determinant of one's life choices and aspirations. I talked about that a bit in my Rio video. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I said there that I was this close to not do it because I was so scared to go to Rio and South America in general alone. And I was also so scared to lose all that money, in quotation marks, because that's the way I saw it, because that's the way people said it to me. Like, you're gonna lose a lot of money, like, this is gonna be so expensive. And then you're going alone as well. And then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose so much money. And this is the wrong way of looking at it. Like, the way I see it and the way my friends saw it was just you're investing the money in your personal growth and into experiences that cannot be bought with money. Like, the experiences you gain from traveling, the amount of self-growth you come out with when you go back home, it's just incredible, because you would have never thought that you would be like a completely different person before you went on that journey. And that's what happened to me, and that's what happened to her, and that's what happens to everybody that takes that step. That's also my first practical tip on that note, is just invest in yourself. And like my friend and I did, we worked to get sufficient money and we saved that, invested it in ourselves to fund our travels and education. So I would encourage everyone that listens right now to just invest in themselves in terms of education, skills, or experience, because those are the most important things. Material things go away, but things that you gain that stay in your head, that stay in your brain, that you need to think about, that impact you personally, that help you grow, those are the things that stay forever. So I would advise everyone to prioritize personal development over materialistic stuff. And one way that's just like the best way, in my opinion, is just traveling alone, meeting people, going to all sorts of places in the world. In almost any case, it's going to be so enriching. And the third tip I will give you on that note would just be overcome financial fear. I think almost everyone comes to the point where you're thinking about money and the uncertainty and fear that can come with financial instability. But in those cases, you really need to think about what you want to spend your money on, what do you need your money for, and where you want to put that extra money that you have to spare. That would just be for one, saving money, and that would just be budgeting or seeking like another financial income on the side while you're pursuing traveling. So for example, like a job that you could do abroad or like remotely. How I overcame it was like pretty quickly, just because my friend that was there when I booked everything, she was very persuasive and she just shat on my fears. She was just like, it would be so dumb if you wouldn't do that because of the money, because money comes back. Like, you're gonna work so much when you're older, when you're coming back, when you're done with your studies, all those kind of things. You're gonna work enough in your life. So what are you sitting on that money for? That's how I overcame my fear. It was pretty quickly, but everyone needs to find their way. So I just want to encourage everyone to think of ways how you can invest in yourself. Not just money, also time, money, and effort, how you can invest that in yourself, how you can help yourself be happier, and just reflect on the role money plays in your life. So for the third lesson, it's going to be a very quick one, but an important one. And it's from the guy who owned the house where I was staying at in Rio. To tell you a bit about him, he was from California, but he moved to Rio like 10 years ago, and he stayed there ever since, never looked back to the US ever again. Met his wife there, found his happiness there, and this just like, it just seemed so beautiful. And the lesson that stuck with me was just this quote that he told me from a traveler he met some years ago. And the quote is, when it comes to traveling, there are no wrong decisions, there are only decisions. And there was nothing ever that would be so true. So to break this down for you, it's just that in traveling, as often in life, are no inherently wrong decisions. They're just decisions that can lead to different learnings and experiences, because every outcome, whether it's positive or negative, provides valuable lessons that can lead to personal growth. And it's as simple as that. So the first tip is just embrace uncertainty. And because travel has a lot of uncertainties and a lot of unpredictabilities, that makes traveling so much more exciting because you never know for sure how one thing's gonna go. It's very important to stay open-minded. Without an open mind, you are not gonna enjoy yourself. You're not gonna enjoy the journey. So it's very important to just stay open. So the second tip I'm gonna give you is reflect on experiences, and especially the challenging ones, because from those you can learn the most. So for example, sometimes everything can go wrong and you can feel like it's the worst day on earth. But as a friend of mine said, sometimes everything needs to go wrong to get better. So you can just find your peace in that, because I found my peace in that. And it's very good that I've learned this lesson in the beginning of my travels, because Rio was my first stop. So I could adapt that to my overall journey, and that made it so much more like manageable when something went wrong, because I had that and I already like thought about this quote and I thought about his view on life, and that helped me so much navigate through difficult days, difficult outcomes, difficult situations. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave you with that. If you have like a horrible travel journey, I would definitely want to hear that, so write it down in the comments. I also heard so many horrible travel experiences from friends that I've met abroad. Like sometimes all the things that can possibly go wrong have to go wrong, so you'll never do it again. And I've been in plenty of those kind of situations, because sometimes so many things go wrong, and that happened for me as well. But it's never gonna happen again. So the fourth lesson is from a guy that I've met in Rio as well, and he did the maintenance at the house. And the heading for this person and this lesson that I've learned is just finding beauty in the little things and keep on sharing love, because this person just seemed to wake up with a smile every day, kept on sharing love every day. Like whoever he met, he was so kind and so precious. He made everyone feel so welcome and loved, even though you just met him. Like his approach of interacting with others had such a big impact on me, because it was so beautiful to witness, so beautiful to see. So to break this heading down, like finding beauty in the little things is so important, because there's such a value in spreading love and spreading positivity with others. The first tip is, I think, just appreciating the small details around you. And you can also just keep a daily kind of diary, just to write down things that you're grateful for. And the second tip is just learn from others. Like the most precious thing I've ever heard was just this guy telling me, like very excited, that he's like fluent in butterfly. And first I was like, what do you mean you're fluent in butterfly? And then he just proceeded to tell me ways to say butterfly, like saying butterfly in 8 or 9 different languages. And I was like, what? And then every time there would be someone new from a country that he hasn't met anyone from yet, he would ask what butterfly means in their language. And this was just so precious to me. And he taught me, so I can actually say butterfly in 8 languages too. Mariposa, borboleta, butterfly, schmetterling, papillon, peperuda, chamutere, pelican. There are 2 more, but I forgot. I learned Dutch, but I forgot what it was. Man, what was it in Dutch? I forgot. But anyways, and also with others, he loves learning about cultures. I told him that I'm from Germany, and then there was also this girl from Austria, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm from Austria. And he was like, wait, there was a German girl here like last week, let me get something for you. And he just brought sauerkraut in like a can, and he was like, do you want to try, like, do you like that? And I was just like, we would just crack up laughing. It was so cute. So the 5th lesson is about a guy I met in Mexico. And this is actually a connection to the story I told you earlier about my dad on YouTube. And he's from North Carolina. I think I would just had this person's drive to be so multifaceted, because he's actually like an actor, a model, has his own company, has a lot of people to work with. He has a lot of connections. Like, he is so multifaceted. That was inspirational in itself. So the heading for him would just be try more new things and be bold, because he keeps on doing that. He's continuously starting new things and pursuing new ideas, new projects, and that was so inspiring, because he never stopped the grind. So to break this down, try more new things. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's so important to try more new things and step out of your comfort zone and just to be bold, to try new things, to take more risks because those will eventually pay off. And you can also adapt it to traveling, like being bold, trying new things, doing stuff that's risky, not in a dangerous way, but like traveling alone is also pretty bold and it's also pretty risky because there are a lot of things that can go wrong. There are a lot of things that you need to take care of, but it pays off in the end. So the first tip will be embracing new experiences, whether it is traveling to an unfamiliar place, whether it's talking to people you don't know, whether it's trying something you never thought you wanted to try. So it's just like actively seeking out new opportunities, new things, and new experiences to help you grow. So you really need to find a way for you to overcome that fear of failure, kind of, because you can never really fail and then be back to zero because you will gain so much and you will learn so much from a certain experience. Like you can never get back to zero. You'll always learn something from it. You might not be at 100 where you want to be, but you'll never be a completely point blank like zero. And another tip would be helping others boldly. He was always just like, if you ever need help, give me a call, or like, here's an agency because you're gonna be in this place at that time. Here's this, you can contact them. Like he was so willing to help even though he gained nothing from it, you know, and that was so amazing to me because you don't find that a lot. Like people just wanting to help you for the sake of helping, not for like an ulterior motivation behind that. So I would just really put that out there to try and develop like a mindset where you can help others without like another intent, just helping others to help others. And then I think the last tip would just be inspire and get inspired, because he really inspired me to start with YouTube. He was just like, why won't you do that? Like, where's the reasoning for you not to do that? And we talked about that a lot, and I just got so much inspiration from him because he also took to YouTube. Like he does a lot. He's really like a multi-talent, but he gave me so much inspiration and had reawakened that idea that my dad already gave me and just pushed me kind of forward to take that step. And it is so important to surround yourself with people that inspire you, not only for traveling, like really in life in general, just to surround yourself with people that you get inspired from. You really are your surrounding. And when you have a surrounding where you can just talk to a person, you get inspired because of their life, of what they're doing, of what kind of person they are, of what kind of experiences they bring. Just getting inspired is so valuable. Just having people that bring out a different side of you is so valuable. And then with him, it was just his supportive nature, his way of talking to people and inspiring people that was so amazing. So yeah, this lesson really helped me to be more adventurous in that sense, take more steps that may be risky but will pay off in the end, finding more ways that can like fulfill me, starting new projects, starting with YouTube. And yeah, that's so important. Just trying something new because life is short, to just go and try new ways that you don't know yet. And the sixth lesson now is from an old lady that I've met in New York, and I think I would just tell the lesson, don't be afraid to approach strangers, because that really was her. She wasn't afraid to talk to anyone. We've met each other in Brooklyn in the hostel we both stayed at, and she was so open. I'm so bad with guessing ages, but I think she was close to 70 or maybe also like almost 80. Like, I don't know, I'm very bad, but you really notice that she never lost that spark to connect with people, to meet new people, to learn new things, to live life to the fullest. Because she was 70 or 80, I don't know, and she was still solo traveling. She had lived her whole life already. She had a family, she has a house, she has a life, and I think it was Miami. And she never lost the spark and this desire to explore and just to break the heading down of not being afraid to approach strangers. Hostel stays are so important to meet people, because in hostels everyone is alone, everyone wants to connect, everyone wants to talk. And I don't know how to explain it, but it felt different in South America because the people were so open than in New York, because I feel like the people were like living for themselves kind of. And I got that feeling, but she didn't. And she just talked to everyone. And that like pushed me to do that as well, even though it wasn't South America, even though it felt kind of different. And it's just so important to create human connections because you can learn so much from other people's stories and you can give them something to learn too from your story that you're going to tell. You never know what an impact you have on other people. And it's good if you have like this natural interest in getting to know other people. And it's really easy to start conversations with other travelers because everyone has so much to tell. Everyone's traveling, everyone has like experienced so many things. You'll never run out of potential to talk about. And you really need to be open about learning from others. Like, I've heard so many stories. I've gotten so much inspiration from others, not just like on me personally, but also like travel interests as well. I've heard so many stories about certain places that I'm like, I'm gonna go there, like definitely. So you get inspired in so many ways. And it's really important to stay like spontaneous because it is the unexpected situations and the people you've met unexpectedly in the conversation you didn't think you were gonna have that will have such a big impact on you later on. Like the unexpected things, the spontaneous things are the things that sit with you the longest. And the seventh lesson is just a lesson from me. And I would have that the power of inspiration from others. Because I had to ask myself, what do all these people have in common? And it's that they each inspired me in different ways that contributed to my growth and really inspired me and enriched me in terms of personal growth and happiness, really, and improving my traveling experiences. If you don't surround yourself with people who inspire you, it becomes quite difficult to push yourself, like to push your boundaries and improve yourself because inspiration is really like a catalyst for growth. And you really need to ask yourself like who inspires you in your life and how you can foster more connections like that because they just collectively shaped my traveling journey so much without intending it, by just being the people that they are. And in this whole year of doing longer trips and then also doing like shorter trips here and there, I changed so much. And I'm more than happy to share those lessons with you guys as well because I think everyone can benefit from hearing that. So thank you for listening to me waffling about my experiences and my lessons that I wanted to share with you. Here are my socials. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next week.